Hi guys, so I'm just going to film standing up today. I'm hoping that this will help me to actually fold clothes while I'm doing my fold with me, but we shall see. So I'm just going to go ahead and fold some clothes. I've got a big old basket that is literally running over into the floor, and I'm just going to go ahead and start folding and talk to you guys. So this Fold With Me Friday is going to be just a little bit more about myself. I really like just giving a little bits and pieces of my testimony throughout these because I think it's awesome to hear about somebody else's story. I really think that that is one of the great things about YouTube is that you can hear little pieces of people's story. You can get to know other people that you never would have normally met or known, and I think that that is a great tool to help people and minister to people and really give people perspective on other people's lives that maybe they wouldn't know otherwise. And so I think it's a great, well, first of all, it's a great tool of ministry, but it's just a great way to get to know people socially and otherwise. And so I don't mind telling you guys the absolute truth about everything about me. It doesn't bother me. I'm a very transparent and just out there person. It does not bother me to put the truth of myself out there. I don't think you can help someone else unless you're honest. And so I don't mind sharing my story. So this part of my story is, I hope it's not going to be long-winded. I'm going to try to keep it concise, but I have always had an issue with self-esteem, and it's like, what woman hasn't, right? Like every female, I think, is just, that's a tool that the enemy uses on every single female ever known. That's the kind of tool that he uses against us, and it works for a lot of ladies. Now, some ladies, no, it doesn't, some more than others, but for the most part, we as a female race, we talked about this in my last word on the weekends about how as a culture, there's just so much pressure, and we think that we have to be this person, and whether it's image or expectation or personality or just the look of us or whatever it is, we think that we have to be a certain thing that the media and our culture has portrayed is a woman, is female, is feminine. And it's the same way whether you're a young girl, whether you're, a grown woman. Our culture has that. And I think that in a lot of ways, that's why the enemy finds it so easy to use that tool of self-esteem and self-confidence issues and self-image problems. I think that that's why he finds it so easy to use that tool against us. And it's the same with me, just like everybody else, but I have always had a really bad issue with self-esteem and self-image. You guys can tell right now, I'm wearing a sports bra, but even still, you can tell I'm a small framed person. I've talked about this before with my issue with food. I think was on a Fold With Me Fridays before. I've never been a big eater. Even if I was, my body frame just doesn't support that kind of figure. It just doesn't. I have a small frame. I'm small boned. I'm just small. And, with that body frame, everybody's like, yeah, everybody wants that. But with that body frame also comes with negatives as well. I'm not curvy. Before I had children, right now, you can't see this because the camera just doesn't show you. But right now, I have a little bit more of a butt. I've got some thighs, not big, but, more than I had before. I've got, my husband says, you got a little bit to hold on to, and that's what I need. So, he's a butt and thighs man. You know what I mean? He's not a chest guy. Good thing, because I don't have one. And having children took away what little I did have. I just don't have big breasts. I don't. And I never have. So I was a late bloomer. And if this is TMI for you, you can just click out. But like I said, I don't mind being transparent. So I was a late bloomer. I didn't start my period until I was, I think in the 10th grade. I was 15, well into 15, not almost 16, but well into 15 before I ever even started my period. I was very small chested. I think I wore a training bra for fun and because my mother felt sorry for me rather than, look at these little underwear, how cute. Rather than really needing one, you know what I mean? I just wasn't a blossoming female at an early age, and all of my friends were bigger than me, and all the guys liked it, because they were hormonal boys, and I was a late bloomer. I just was. Not only was I a late bloomer, but when that bloom finally bloomed, it didn't bloom very big. It was more of budding than a big old bloom. I was just small. I've always been small chested. I've been small framed. That has just been me. And before I had kids, I had like no butt, no legs, no nothing. There was no curve there. I used to call myself a stick figure because that's what I felt like. I just didn't have a body. So with our culture and with things the way they are, of course that gave into self-esteem issues, but not only that, I had other issues that contributed to that as well. I am the oldest of 3 children, okay? My dad has been a pastor he's been a preacher since I was 4, a pastor since I was 6 years old. And I am 7 years older than my 2 siblings who are twins. So when I was first born, I was born to a mother who was 16 years old and my dad was 19. They got pregnant right away. They were dating. They got pregnant with me. And shortly after they found out they were pregnant, they did, in fact, get married. That opened up a whole other can of worms. It's like if the devil was looking for something to play in my head with, bing, he found it before I was even born. There it is. That's what I'm going to hone in on. And that's what he did. It was an easy target. Your parents didn't want you. You were a mistake. All of these issues that come into play, especially if you are a person who has those kinds of issues already kind of brewing underneath. It's just a devil's playground of things for him to bother you and mess with you about. It's so easy for him to play with those kinds of things that happen in your life. You didn't choose this. You didn't contribute to any of this. It happened before you were born. These were not your decisions. But think of, your parents didn't want you, blah, blah, blah. You were a mistake. You ruined their lives. My mom, she didn't finish high school. She went and got her GED and then started going to college. My dad did finish high school. He was 19 when I was born, but he didn't finish college. So he's on his 2nd master's degree now, but he went back to college later in life. So all of these things just kept running through my head my entire life. Where would your parents be if it weren't for you? And da-da-da, which is all total crap. But let's face it, everything the enemy puts in your face and in your mind is total crap. That's why it's the enemy. He's not on your side. He's not telling you the truth. The Bible says that he is a liar, that the truth is not within him. It's not within him to tell the truth. He can't. There is no truth in him. So everything that you are thinking and you keep on thinking and is coming against you, you have to ask yourself, do I feel like this is from God or not? If it's not true. That's just an easy way to deal with it, okay? That's the easy way to let yourself know that he's full of crap and so is this. And, I can preach and start getting all excited up in here folding these clothes, but I'm not going to do that. So, I'm going to calm it on down. So, I had issues with that. I grew up with those issues of self-esteem problems and self-hatred and issues. And I just want to let anybody out there know that if you are going through that, there is a God who can help you through it. There are people in your life that can help you and pull you out of that mess. If you are a easily depressed person, if it is easy for you to be bluesy and dig yourself into a horrible dark hole that you don't want to come out of, it is possible. You can live another way. There is another way for you to be able to live. You can make it through this. I promise you. And if you have self-esteem issues like that, it's more common than the devil wants us to realize. He wants to isolate us and tell us that we're all alone in this and that nobody else understands where we're going, what we're going through and where we're coming from, and they won't get it, and they think you're crazy, and all of these other lies that he tries to tell you. They're false, my friend. They're just false. And so it was the same with me. When I went to college, I had a huge depressive just meltdown. I stayed in my room. I wanted it dark all the time. I was completely miserable with myself and with everybody else. I was lonely. I was isolating myself from all the friends that I had made. I didn't want to talk to anybody. And there was a friend of mine who wasn't even my friend. She was my roommate's friend, and she did not give up on me. She answered. I don't think that she knows now the call of God that she answered to really make an impact on my life. I don't think she realizes the impact that just her caring about me had. But that's what you don't realize, is when God tells you to do something, you don't know how big it is. She probably thought that it's no big deal. She doesn't even think about it. We have lost contact and don't even talk to each other anymore, but I still am saying it on YouTube, that what a big impact she made. And I'm telling you about this in a story about my life. So you never know what little small thing that you do can really affect somebody for the rest of their life. So that's a whole other topic. You see how I go on rabbit trails. I am a preacher's kid, let me tell you. Both my parents are preachers, and you can definitely tell it. But anyway, I was a depressed person. I lived in a state of sadness and self-pity and self-hatred, and it was not until I made terms with the fact that I am who I am. God made me this person, and it is a great person, okay? Nobody can do what God has called you to do better than you can. Nobody. Somebody else is called to do something else, and you can't do it as good as they can. Someone else can take over if you choose not to do what you're called to do. So he will send somebody else to do that work, but they can't do it as well as you can because he called you to do it. You have a purpose, and nobody else can live up to that purpose better than you. And it wasn't until I really realized this and started embracing it. Also, a lot of things started contributing to that. So I started to self-heal and really self-reflect and dig into myself, into deep, deep parts of me that I had closed off for so long. No, God, I don't want you to touch that. I want you to be in my heart. I want you to be a part of my life, but I don't want to let you into those spaces. Those spaces are just for me. We're not going to go in there, okay? We're not going to, I'll let the Holy Spirit move in my life, but I'm not going to let him in these little deep parts because those are secret, okay? I got issues, and I want to keep my issues because I'm comfortable with those issues. And that's kind of how it was. And that's how it is with anything that the devil has been working in your life and working on you for so long. You kind of keep those parts to yourself. It becomes comfortable to hate yourself. It becomes comfortable to be depressed. It becomes comfortable to be isolated because that's what you've done for so long. You don't want to do anything else. Sometimes you don't even know how. And so that's the way it was with me. So slowly I began to be different. I began to really discover myself. And then I got married, and as you guys know, I got married and then divorced, and that was a whole other thing. Then I felt like it was all me, no one loves me. So then he brought all of that back, all of the work that I had done to progress up. Here I go sliding on back down that slippery slope, and I'm all upset again. And so it wasn't until I really just decided, you know what, I'm not going to let him affect me this way anymore. I am me. I am a child of God. I am a woman of God. He created me for a purpose. I'm going to live up to that purpose or die trying. I'm never going to give up trying to live up to what he has for me. I know there's something better than this. I know that he wanted me to live a better quality of life than in depression, in a state of self-hatred and defeat. I'm not going to give in to that. And I really started to work on building myself back up. It took a long time after a failed marriage to really build myself back up to where I felt like I could be of use to him. And then I got married to my wonderful husband, the love of my life, and things started to get a little bit better, and I started to grow and learn more, and really become stronger spiritually and understand exactly some of the things that I feel that he has for me. Of course, you're never going to fully understand it until you're done, because you're always going to be working and learning new things about yourself and what he has for you, because he always has more for you around the corner. So that's a whole other subject. But then I had babies, and it's like you think you know what love is, and then you have babies and you're like, holy cow, I think I grew a new heart and found out love all over again. And then I think that having kids really does allow you to see a fatherly love for you in a whole other way, because you understand that paternal love. So whether you're a man or whether you're a woman, you really understand the love of God for you when you have kids. And so I think that helped me love myself, to realize, and oh, hello, he really does love me. That shirt was he got that shirt so grungy that even washing it did not make it come out. It really helps you understand God's love for you when you understand the love that you have for the children that he gives you. And so that helps me as well. And I am not great at asking for help or love or support from someone else. I'm not good at reaching out. I'm not good for crying for help. It's just not something I'm good at. I handle things by myself. I put my big girl britches on, and I try to just put my head down and shovel through it my own self. But I would encourage you today that if you have these issues, reach out to somebody. Heck, reach out to me. I give you guys my email. I give you guys my Instagram, so you can follow me on there and you can message me on there. I will email you and pray for you all day long. You have to have the support of somebody. If you don't feel comfortable leaning on and getting support from someone you know, then heck, get support from someone you don't really know very well. But either way, there is a plan for you, and it's not to be self-conscious all the time and not love yourself. That is not the plan that he has for you. That's the stumbling block that the enemy puts on us so that we don't do the plan that he has for us. That's what it is. You can't really do God's plan for you and the work that he has for you if you're wallowing in self-pity and self-hatred. It just doesn't work like that. And you can't do good if you're constantly thinking bad about yourself. That's just how it is. And so I just encourage you today. I know that sometimes these Fold With Me Fridays and Word on the Weekends kind of slam into each other and coincide. It kind of seems like the same type of video. But that's just because Fold With Me Fridays is simply to let you know me and to get to know me a little bit better each and every time. Whether it's funny things like last week's video, or I just tell you about pet peeves that I have, or whether it's serious and me telling you struggles that I've gone through in my life. I might dig in deeper and one day tell you my full, long, drawn out testimony and really dig in deep and let you guys know. But I like these little videos because they're just... This one's pretty long, actually. This one's one of the longer ones. But a 20-minute video on me and things that I've gone through and letting you know that you're not alone and you're not by yourself. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I appreciate each and every one of you listening to my random rambling self. And I just love you guys so very much. And I hope that you guys stay with me on this journey so that we can get better to know each other. And I will leave my email down below as always. I would love it if you contacted me, if you need prayer, if you just want to talk or vent or whatever it is. I am here for you, and I'm always praying for you whether you email or not. So I appreciate each and every one of you watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.